Summer 2017, T3. To get the answer, we're going to substitute values between 4 and 5. I'm going to start at 4, and 3 times 4 squared plus 4 is 52. That's too small. Next one I'm going to go to is 4.5, and 4.5 gives 65.25, which again is too small. 4.6 gives 68.08. That's too big, so our answer lies between 4.5 and 4.6, so we've got to try a value halfway between. So we want 4.55 squared times 3 plus 4.55, which gives us 66.6. That's too small, which means the answer we want is the 4.6. Quality of written communication is being assessed in this question. That means beside calculations, we need to give some titles and explain why we are doing them. So the first thing I'm going to do is work out the cost. And the shopkeeper ordered 1,200 eggs at £2.40 each. That means that the cost of the shopkeeper is 2,880. He made a 15% profit, so his profit for his selling will be 115% of £2.40. So that's 1.15 times 2.4, which gives us £2.76. He had 1,200 eggs and he has 360 eggs left. So I'm working out here that there were 840 sold. So that's 840 times £2.76, which gives us 2,318.4, and we have to remember to give 0.40. So we want to make sure he didn't make a loss. So if we do 2,000, and so the left to make then is the 2,880 minus the 2,318.4, which is £561.60. So the price per egg will be the £561.60 divided by the 360 eggs that he has left, and that means he has to sell each egg for £1.56. Calculate a mean from a group frequency. The first thing we need to do is find the midpoint. 0 to 3, the midpoint is 1.5. 3.6 is 4.5. 6 to 9, 7.5. 9 to 12, 10.5. And 12 to 15, 13.5. That means that there are 3 plants at approximately 1.5, which in total is 4.5 centimetres growth. 5 plants at 4.5, which is in total 22.5 centimetres growth. 4 at 7.5, which is 30. 7 at 10.5, which is altogether 73.5. And finally, 1 at 13.5. And if we add all of those together, we get the total growth, which is 144. Number of plants is 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 1. So that's 20. So 144 divided by 20 gives us a mean growth of 7.2. We are then asked in B, explain why your answer is only an estimate, and that's because we use the midpoints. Group data. Therefore, we do not know the exact values. so long as you refer to the fact that you've had to use the midpoints and that we don't know the exact values, you'll get the mark. For expanding brackets, I use the grid method. So we have 3x minus y, and we want to multiply that by 3x minus y. 3x minus times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times minus y is minus 3xy. And minus y times minus y is plus y squared. So that gives us 9x squared minus 3xy minus 3xy plus y squared. So 9x squared take away 6xy plus y squared. Factorising this, it is the difference of two squares, which means we want x plus 5, x minus 5. So Gillian sold her formal dress online for £130.50. This was 1/8 more, so 1/8 as a percentage is 12.5%. We get that by doing 100 divided by 8, which means that 112.5% is £130.50. So 1% will be £130.50 divided by 112.5, which is 1.16, which means that 100%, the cost of the dress is 1,160. That's reverse percentages. To answer this question, we need to know how many there is in each grouping. So from 130 to 140, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 in that grouping. Next, from 140 to 150, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 150 to 160, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 160 to 170, we have 3, and 170 to 180, we have 1. We plot at the midpoint, which means that at 135, we put in 6. At 145, 7. 150 to 160 is 14. Our next value then was 3, and our final value is 1. In the exam, with a ruler, you join all of these up with straight lines. Just excuse me for doing this freehand on the app. You can see here I've taken the answer straight from the SIA mark schemes. Range of height seems to be similar. That means that they're all within the given range, and the pupils in 10B seem to be smaller. That's because the peaks are smaller in, or higher in 10B to the left of the smaller values. Then have question 22. So a number is halved. Then 5 is subtracted, and the answer is 1/3 of the original number. When dealing with fractions and equations, the easiest thing to do is give them all the same denominator, and I'm going to use sixths. So a half is 3/6, 5 is 30/6, and 1/3 is 2/6. That means that 3x minus 30 equals 2x, so x must be 30. To help me out in solving these simultaneously, I'm going to take the second equation and rewrite it as 3x plus 8y equals minus 1. So I'm just changing the subject slightly, and the first one is x minus 5y equals 15. If I multiply the first equation by 3, I have 3x minus 15y equals 45. Remembering to multiply everything by 3. And I have 3x plus 8y equals minus 1. We subtract those. Minus 15 take away 8 is minus 23. And 45 take away minus 1 is 45 plus 1, which is 46. So y must be minus 2. x take away 15 is 5y, so x would have been minus 10 plus 15, which is 5. Two choices here. You can use the quadratic formula or we can factorise. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply by minus to give minus 24 but add to give minus 5. So that would be minus 8 plus 3, which gives us that x minus 8 is 0. So x was 8, or x plus 3 equals 0, or x equals minus 3. Quadratic formula is on the formula sheet, so x equals, and we've got to have an a, which is 1, b is minus 5, and c is minus 24. X equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Need to be careful here with your signs in your calculator all over 2a. Now you put those into the calculator and we get 8 minus 3, so either way we're getting the same answer. I'm going to start by taking the triangle OAC, and if I take OAC, I have 8.4 and 60 degrees. I'm going to work out the side of OC, which is adjacent. Writing out my trig triangles, so CATOA. 8.4 is the hypotenuse, so I want the adjacent and the hypotenuse, so I want cos. And I'm trying to work out the adjacent, which tells me that the adjacent is the cos of the angle multiplied by 8.4, which gives 4.2. Then working out the size of angle OBC, which is x, I have opposite and adjacent, and I can see from my triangles above that that will be tan. So the tan of x equals the opposite over the adjacent. So the tan of x, or x will then equal the inverse tan, which gives us an angle of 21.6 degrees. If the mean of four numbers is x, it means that the total of the four numbers is 4x. So 4x is the total. Y is added to one of the numbers, so we're going to have a y, and z is added to each of the three numbers, so we're going to have 3z, so that is our new total. We still have four numbers, which means that the mean will be 4x plus y plus 3z divided by 4. Median is found from the middle, so that's drawing a line across at 60 in each of these. And as I draw that across, I can see that the chemistry, as we read down, will be the largest. Interquartile range is the difference between the 30 and the 90. And we can see that the largest interquartile range is going to be on the biology. The pass mark was 50. What percentage of the students did not pass physics? So if we go to 50 and across and up, we can see that 15 out of 120 did not pass. So that's 12.5%.